We're told to dream big, to hustle hard, to live our best lives. But what if all that pressure is actually breaking us? Today, on This Mic is Crying, we're ripping off the band-aid and talking about the suffocating weight of expectations, the kind that's crushing our mental health. Are you ready to accept that you're feeling it too? Whether it's parental or social or peer pressuring, it can all have an influence on you, your decisions you make, and also your mental health. In this episode, I want to explore how these expectations shape people, especially in today's modern world. If you look around, expectations are everywhere. Whether you think about it subconsciously or consciously, it's there. It's what molds society into this bigger picture. And some expectations can look like parental expectations, what your family hopes or assumes you'll become. The pressure that you'll get a good career off comes from that. The pressure of wanting to have good academic success could stem from that. Social expectations. This is what society tells you what's normal or acceptable. And this can look like beauty standards. This can look like stigmas around mental health that prevent people from getting the help that could benefit them. This can look like the modern day romanticization and how friendships should look like and how relationships should look like. And if you're young, I feel like that increases the pressure of wanting to fit in and wanting to be a part of like society. And there's also peer pressuring, the influence from friends or classmates to fit in. Seeing relationships and seeing friendships online and seeing how romanticized it is, it could peer pressure or pressure people to want to do the same things with their friends and want to start dating or start building new connections, and that could be good, but when you're not getting what you hope to or what you expected, that's when it could look like a problem. But there's some expectations that are obvious, others are not. Consider the unspoken expectations that men are more muscular and short haired, while women are depicted as more petite and soft spoken with long hair and perfect skin. And sure, we're evolving. More people are breaking out of those boxes, but what happens when you don't fit into those narrow standards? You look around and it seems like everybody fits in effortlessly. That can seriously affect your mental health, leading to anxiety, self-doubt, isolation and depression, or even complete loss of motivation. Sometimes it's not even what others expect. It's what you expect from yourself. You didn't get that dream job your family hoped you could have gotten. And then maybe deep down you start feeling like a failure and you start isolating yourself. And I feel like once society or family or once a big large group of community is expecting something from you and you're not meeting up to those expectations and you start feeling bad about it, that's when you're internalizing those expectations, and it's normal. And I feel like it could also be harmful and dangerous when your self-worth gets put in onto some external thing or thought, and when it's not connecting, you just don't feel good. You don't feel accepted. And I think whenever anything is connected to your self-worth in some external factor, that's just dangerous. Like that, those things just don't match together because that's something you genuinely just can't control. When you tie your values to performance, validation, or approval, you always end up falling short. I feel like a big problem also is social media that amplifies expectations and amplifies thoughts and beliefs and opinions onto generations and onto people. And I do want to acknowledge that there is authentic and good messages out there on social media, but in this video and or episode, I want to talk about the ones where it can harm certain people and it can make people feel like they have to reach a certain standard for a community or a thought. Everybody has a phone. Everybody's on it. The influence it has on social media is undeniable, especially in 2025. But there's some mental health problems that even I resonate with, and it's important to keep in mind. Everything on social media is curated. It's presented in a way to make you want to keep watching and to make you want to talk about it. And that's what drives in money. That's what creates the industries. That's what makes these people continue what they do. And when there's people constantly like on their phones and constantly seeing teenagers living their lives or people their age living their lives and doing so much better than them, it can create a false reality. And that's kind of what they want. They want you to kind of see them as like, wow, they're living the best lives ever. Like, they're talked about everywhere. Like, they're so amazing. But presenting an online image can harm mental health, even to the viewer. Comparing identities, especially in today's world, is such a big issue because that's someone romanticizing about something that can't happen to them or something that they're not. I think it's even gotten to the point where we want to become the person. And some like harmful signs can be like using very excessive filters or wanting to meet a beauty standard, and it can really distort your perception on reality and on things. And I think a big thing about social media, it wants you to keep on coming back to it. And it does have to do with a lot of psychological factors like dopamine. You get a dopamine hit every time you check your notifications or every time you see something you like online. And when like the person who wants to meet that beauty standard is posting themselves in a way that wants to appeal to that certain community, and they get a good response off it, that can naturally create a like, I want to get this dopamine hit again. So I'm going to keep posting and I'm going to keep on like trying to meet that beauty standard. And it's like climbing climbing an unlimited stair. Like, or like, it's like walking on a treadmill that's never going to stop. And trying to be someone you're not on the internet, that is a mental trap. You are your own person. Everything about you is unique, and you are meant to be exactly how you are right now. And when you're putting your self-worth onto an external factor, that's that can that can create a disordered reality. Some negative thought patterns can look like perfection, the belief that one must achieve flawless results to be valued. People pleasing, prioritizing others' needs over one's own well being. Comparison, regularly comparing yourself to others and feeling inferior. Self criticism, harmful judgments about one's capabilities or appearances. Avoidance, steering clear of activities or situation that trigger social, societal pressures. Expectations, whether they come from others or yourself, can feel like chains. But the truth is, you get to choose which ones you accept and which ones you get to let go of. You don't have to meet every standard. You don't have to fit in any mode. You just have to be you and protect your peace while doing it. And especially in this modern age where everything is so romanticized and everything just seems so perfect and so curated, it can kind of feel like, oh, like that's not how my life looks like. My life kind of looks boring. It doesn't look as fun as how other kids or how other people my age life looks like. And that can create loneliness, and it's just in a constant cycle of negative emotions and burnout that can completely set you downhill. I kind of want to share my personal story with expectations. In my family, there's a very specific image of success. You go to school, you go to college, you get a high paying job, you get a family, and you raise kids. That's kind of what society has put into what a ideal life looks like. That path is fine if you genuinely want it, but it never felt like my path. My mind was always wired around the artistic. I want to write, I want to sing and create. The tension came when their version of success clashed with my vision. They saw school instability as what's important. I saw expression, music, and purpose as what mattered. I had a choice for high school, a prestigious exam school or an art school. I had the decision to pick one of those two schools, and I ended up choosing the exam school. Not because I wanted to, but because of my mom's expectations. I wasn't, it felt like I was sacrificing my true self, and that hurt. I was just scared of disappointing my family. I disappointed myself from not, but if I really think about it, I disappointed myself from not standing up for myself and not trying to live by my truth. My mom, like a lot of parents, told me that school should be my top priority, and because of that, I began to tie my worth to how well I did in school. When I got good grades, I felt good about myself, but once I got the bad grades, it just, I felt horrible about myself, and it just made me feel like I was failing as a person. But here's the thing. When your worth is based on external things, grades, followers, clothes, or how someone else sees you, it's unstable. None of that should ever define your value. I learned the importance of detachment. Stepping back from the pressure and remembering you are not your grades, you are not your followers, you are not your likes, you are not how other people see you or perceive you. You are not how much money you have in your balance. You are not how well your sleep schedule is. You are not other people's expectations. Your worth comes from your mind, not within, not from what the world projects onto you. Expectations show up in so many forms. Your mom wanting you to study on your studies, expectations assigning certain behaviors to certain genders, society assigning certain expectations to certain genders, even you putting expectations onto other people or feeling disappointed when they don't meet them. Expectations mold us into what society wants us to be. Going to school is an expectations. Showing up, showing respect is an expectation. Choosing a practical path is an expectations. But not all expectations serve us as humans and not make us feel fulfilled. Some can lead to anxiety, and some can lead to wanting to fit into the stuff that does not suit you, and the pressure to climb and achieve this certain role. And it's just the pressure to reach an unrealistic role for yourself. When I chose that exam school, I didn't choose what I wanted for myself. I chose what someone else wanted for me. And when you're living for someone else, that's not healthy. I want to be able to live for myself and live for my truth and live for my passion and do what I want to do in life. But that moment made it clear. Social expectations shape decisions in ways we don't even realize, and I think is worth asking. What parts of life are really you, and what parts of life are really other people's expectations? After going through different realizations and experiences around the weight of expectations, I had a moment where it all clicked. I'm the one who gets to choose what I want to do in my life. Every step I take is a choice, and those steps build the staircase to where I want to land. No one else defines that path for me. Not culture, not school, not even my family. And one of the strongest beliefs I had to unlearn was that music wasn't a real job and that my passions weren't a real job. I started reflecting deeply on what I value and what I deem successful, because the truth is success looks different for everyone. I did research on music industry and watched people who made it work and began to trust that success doesn't have to look one way. I realized I don't have to choose between stability and passion. There's a world where both can exist. I just get to be the one who gets to build it. And of course, there's moments where nobody's going to see eye to eye. But I just started learning to accept it. That's not disconnection, it's maturity. We all have different values, different priorities, but we could still love each other and we could still respect each other. There's power in saying we don't have to agree, we just have to respect each other. The pressure filled when I realized I didn't need their approval to pursue what felt true to me. Once I stopped letting these outside voices or external expectations onto myself, something shifted. Whether it was my family's expectations or my high school bullies threatening me to stop making music, it felt like the most authentic version of myself. I walked differently. I moved with my purpose. That confidence wasn't loud. It was quiet self-assurance rooted in knowing who I was and what I am and what my values are. And self-acceptance became my power and also my protection. I wanted to go full on for my artistic goals and dreams, but I feel like once I accepted that everybody just sees stuff differently and have different values, that's when I kind of felt free. Once I accepted myself, I finally felt aligned. Before we wrap up, I want to have a key message for you to take away. Expectations are everywhere, whether it's from family, friends, school, but it's up to you to define your truth and your values, and nobody else gets to define that ever. Help me was learning to accept myself, challenging old beliefs, and letting go of needing approval from everybody else around me. Once I accepted that not everybody has to agree with me, I felt freer, happier, and more in tune with who I really am. To anyone who resonated with anything I said, here are some strategies for you to take away that can help you navigate through expectations and feeling stressed and anxious. Something I personally love to do is just journal and just get it out there. So ask yourself, what do I love? What do I value? What do I actually want? Not for others, but for me. Journal about what success and happiness and fulfillment looks like to you, not your family or any external factor. Have respectful, honest conversations with people around you. You don't have to argue. Just express what you're passionate about and why it matters to you. Not everyone will understand, and that's okay. It's also important to set boundaries. Your personal life, limit time around others that don't benefit you. Limit social media if it feels like it's triggering you in any sort of way. It's important to take time off anything that doesn't benefit you. Social comparison is so prominent nowadays, it's important to take time back into your life. Don't entertain conversations that drain you or make you doubt your worth. Create space for yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. Build a supportive circle. Find people, friends, mentors, online communities who get you and respect your path. Let go of trying to impress people who were never meant to understand you. And it's also important to embrace imperfection. You aren't perfect. Nobody is. I'm not either. Growth isn't linear. You'll mess up, have doubts, and that's a part of life. Learn to be kind to yourself through your journey because you just have to accept it. And it's not about perfection, it's about progress. This is the triple D's. This is what I learned from this article written from Mental Health UK. And it's when expectations start to overwhelm you. Distract yourself, do something that you enjoy, or talk to somebody positive. Distance yourself. Step away from people who don't align with your values. Dispute. Ask yourself, is this expectation actually helpful, or is it somebody else in my head? Don't let others' expectations define your path and your life. Take time to really dissect your own beliefs and really think about what's important to me and what's my truth. How should I live my life? When you challenge expectations and help your mental health and set boundaries, you're not just helping yourself, you're contributing to a bigger picture on how society defines success, identity, and growth and worth, and how we define what's important and what's not. The shift starts with individuals like us deciding to live a more honest life and be more compassionate towards one another. But if this episode resonated or spoke to you in any sort of way, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more episodes and video content. Follow me on my Instagram at calloutgene if you're into making music and good photos and aesthetic beautiful photos. It's literally the best Instagram out there. Come on. Share this episode with someone who needed to hear it, because you never know if someone else out there is struggling with the weight of expectations.